Been working on this dash. This is a mk1 caddy, Volkswagen Caddy, and I'm putting the 1998 instrument cluster in it. Cut these out of the original, out of the dash from mk3, and molding those into the mk1 dash. I'm not a purist. I want it to look right. I want it to be able to use this instrument cluster that went with this engine. And so I'm modifying my bezel. Cut part of the mk3 off. Used a little panel bond to modify this bezel so that it'll fit my instrument cluster when I put it in this mk1 dash. And I've molded it into the mk1 so that it looks right, so you can see all the gauges. And I started pulling the wiring in on the little truck, and it's a rat's nest. It was a rat's nest to start with, but got my work cut out for me on that. I'm gonna try to make everything look neat. Try to lace everything up right, and then I'm gonna put the AHU wiring harness and tie in all the wires that I had labeled before. Start this thing, getting it going back together. I've decided I'm probably gonna go ahead and run the power steering pump. May put the power steering out of a cabriolet into this thing. I don't know, I just have to see what I can find. But I'm not gonna let that hold me up on getting the engine put back in. This wiring's gonna take a while. I'm gonna send the seat off to be covered. Gonna put the cable shifter box in. Take this one out and put the cable in. Okay, this shows where I did the final gluing with panel bond. Going in here to try to give it more strength, and you can see where I cut it along the top. See, this was the original line where it came across right here, this little edge right here, and I trimmed that out up through there where the mk3 would fit. I trimmed the bottom, you can see just a little bit right through there where I trimmed the bottom edge of it a little bit. And then this side this is really strong right here. This one has got the screws. It's got two right here, one going in right there and one right there. But the bottom piece right here on this side is just a little metal angle bracket that I made that's holding it because it was broke off right here. And so it's not as strong, but it will still hold good. It's just, you know, it's in there good, and I glued around it a little bit. But you can see the little self-tapping screws that I use. I cut them off to make them flush. But they're a good way to do it. You put the bezel on, lay the instrument cluster with this upside down. You lay the instrument cluster on, and that lets you get it fitted. And then you start screwing it before you ever glue anything. Just wanted to show a close-up of it. See how I glued all that. And you can see where I've cut the original mounts off, but it works. Got the bezel. I got to do the finished trim work around the bezel right there. You can see where I've glued the sides of it. I still got to sand that down, and I'm going to paint it where I ground it off. You can see where I ground it off to glue this one on. It's not perfect, but it'll be good whenever I get it in there.